Hello, wonderful people of the internet. Welcome back to another episode of Simuleos. One second, let me go ahead and turn down the volume on my end. I think it should be fine on your end, though. Right, so there's actually a bunch of different things to talk about today. Let me go ahead and open up Xernal PP, and let's just go for it. Right, so let's do this, I guess, and move that over here. Right, so as of last stream, I said that I would stream from 9 to noon, Japanese Standard Time. But this morning, basically, my wife went to work a little bit late, maybe 9:15, 9:30. And then I had basically an hour where I had to do other things just because there were other things I had to do. I'm sorry about that. Just like weird templating stuff for a project that I'm working on with Grant and all this kind of stuff. That took about an hour, and then I realized, well, it was 10:30, 10:45 already, and I was like, okay, well, maybe I should just eat, and I should do an afternoon stream instead of doing a morning stream. So that's exactly what I did, with the hopes that this will be, somewhat longer. I've no idea. But that's why I'm streaming a bit later today than I normally would. I do realize that when I was in Japan last time, I was able to stream relatively easily from 5 to 7 in the morning every morning, and that was my stream time. But I just can't do that right now because 5 to 7 in the morning, I'm in like a one-bedroom apartment with my wife, and I'm just not going to wake her up at 4:30 in the morning every morning just to do a live stream. I mean, don't get me wrong, live stream's great and all, but I don't think that's important, It's pretty late here, but I can't sleep anyway, so hello. Hey, Gibbous, what time is it your time? I mean, you're in the US, right? So I think Eastern time. So for you, it must be 10:30, I think, or something like that. But yeah, again, I apologize for streaming late today. I have been doing my best to have like a more consistent stream time from 9 to noon. Japanese Standard Time, but I just haven't been able to. 10:30, that's what I thought. Okay, so let's just go ahead and get started. Today, we're not going to talk about the approximate counting algorithm or any of that kind of stuff. We're just going to hop right into the Elo system. So you might be wondering why we need this at all. And I'm not actually set in saying that this is actually the best way to do it. But at the end of the day, we have this thing called the Summer of Mathematical Exposition 1. It's just the first of the potentially multiple Summer of Mathematical Expositions. The idea is just to get people to make something. It doesn't have to be like something amazing. Just make something in the field of mathematical exposition. The top 5 winners will be given $1,000 from Brilliant and potentially some like golden pie plushies or something like that. 929 here at CST. Yeah, I think for people in Mountain Time or whatever time zone California is in. I think this time zone is actually pretty good for them, but for everyone else, it's pretty bad, and I do apologize for that. Like, it's awful for people in Europe. I'm fairly certain that it's just like the worst time zone ever for people in Europe, which is unfortunate, but it is what it is. Okay. Side question, are you back in Japan? I thought you were in the US for now. Yes, right now I'm in Japan. So I'm in Okinawa for the next, I don't know, honestly. We were hoping I'd be in Okinawa for the next 2 weeks, for essentially a month, right? So I flew into Japan maybe about a month ago. And then there were 2 weeks quarantine in Tokyo, even though I'm fully vaccinated and I had like 8 tests. You still have to do 2 weeks in Tokyo. And then I flew to Okinawa. I've been here for about 2 weeks. During that time, I'm just here kind of doing odd research jobs, still working with Grant, working remotely, all that kind of stuff. And then we'll be going to Barcelona. The flight is for September 4th, but we haven't gotten the visa stuff settled yet. So I don't know, maybe the flight, I don't know. I have no idea, honestly. We might have to delay the flight. It's just all up in the air right now. COVID's really a lot of my friends, they had no issues due to COVID, like some, right? Like they had to work from home or something like that. But like, I'm kind of realizing that COVID really screwed me up, like really badly. Not because I got sick or anything, but just because, all the travel restrictions and stuff, like we've paid like an extra $1,000 and stuff that's supposed to cost like $10 total, just because that's the only way you can actually get the paperwork through, due to all these COVID travel restrictions and all this kind of stuff. Like it's been, no, more than $1,000 because we had to pay for the Airbnb. So like we're talking about like, probably $2,000 to $3,000 worth of just extra unnecessary, stuff that you had to pay for. And then on top of all that, I had to move 3 times because of COVID. It's just been insane. Like honestly, it's not been that great. And so, I've had to move like 5 times. Well, okay. Since 2020, I had to move, I had to move to Boston. Then had to move from Boston to Alabama, then Alabama back up to Boston, then Boston back down to Alabama. Don't ask why. I just had to do multiple moves. So that's 1, 2, 3, 4. Then I had to move to Okinawa, and now I have to move to Barcelona. And through that, we had to transit through Tokyo. So, you could technically say that that's another annoying trip. I don't know. Like, the point is, it's been like 6 moves since COVID started. And it's all mainly due to the virus and people just not taking it seriously and all that kind of stuff. Anyway, I don't want to rant too much about that. The point is, I'm in Japan for now. I will be in Japan for the next few weeks. I don't know how long I'll be here, just long enough that, it's important to have some sort of setup. And that's where I'm at. Anu23, hey, how are you? I hope you're having a wonderful day. Let's see, anything else I want to say before getting started here? I guess not really. I mean, we kind of did a lot of rambling yesterday, and I don't want to do too much rambling today. Let's talk about the Summer of Mathematical Exposition. So we're running into a situation where we're expecting like maybe, I don't know, like maybe 1,500 applications. That to me sounds a bit high. I'm actually only expecting maybe 700. But the fact of the matter remains that we have a large number of people that are all submitting entries. And, it's kind of impossible for us to do manual judging for this number of people, right? So we're trying to find a way to make the judging more like community focused, right? So people in the community can do the judging, and then we can kind of take the top 10% from that judging whatever thing that we have them do. So the idea is that we're going to basically randomly sample. So we're going to give every individual who is submitting their entry to the Summer of Math Exposition some sort of set of 5 people that they're going to judge, right? And this will be done hopefully at random, and then we'll give all of these guys some sort of Elo score, where Elo is kind of what they use in League of Legends or chess or something like this, as a way to determine who is better than who, without having those people actually fight each other. Now, I'm going to be honest, I'm fairly certain there is a way to do some sort of, graph theory representation of this problem such that we can like directly prove that, some, person is better than some other person in terms of like their entry and stuff like that. But because we're only interested in getting the top 10, 20% of people, it doesn't have to be too exact, as long as we know that the top 5 people are in the 200 people that we will be judging manually. Like, that's the big thing that we need to make sure. So to do this, again, we're just going to kind of code up some sort of simple Elo solver, and that's the goal for today, just to code something up that can kind of solve this problem to some degree, right? And then I'm going to talk to Grant about it tomorrow, and hopefully this will all work out. And then basically the rest of this week, I'll be spending half of my time, on stream doing, independent research and stuff, and the other half working on stuff for Grant. And that's kind of where I'm at. I do have some stuff that I want to do for OIST as well, but unfortunately, a lot of my time, I don't know, I feel a bit bad about it, but a lot of the time I'm spending here at OIST isn't actually at OIST. It's just kind of working from home and doing stuff that's marginally related to stuff I did at OIST. I do want to make a video on this topic, just talking about the Elo system and all that kind of stuff, so there will probably be an Algorithm Archive video, Algorithm Archive article, and a video to go with it, coming out after the Summer of Math Exposition is done. I miss you. Sorry about that, Moss. I do... Yeah, I just can't come into the office. I'm sorry. I mean, I can. I just have other stuff that I have to get done. So, yeah, and my computer's... Right now, I have a computer in the office, but I haven't gotten... Like, about 2 weeks ago, I ordered this, like, extension cord so that I could actually switch. It's got a weird power socket, and so I can't really use that computer until I have something that can fit into that socket, right? And unfortunately, I don't have the power socket for it. So I ordered the power socket for it 2 weeks ago. It said it was going to come in last Monday. It's now 8 days overdue. It's not here yet. So I really can't even use much. I mean, I could bring my desktop in and out, I suppose, but that's about the only way I could get any like actual work done in the office. Again, it's just because a lot of my work now is like video editing and stuff like that, that I mean, there's some pen and paper work I could do, but it's not too much nowadays. I'm spending the last hours of my day listening to you ramble while I play bad idle games. That's fair. Your desktop has wheels. My desktop does have wheels, and now it actually has built-in lighting. I just fixed that yesterday. So, I don't know. I mean, like, I could technically just bring it to the office with me. It's not a big deal. I did that once or twice already, but yeah, I just decided, I don't know, I haven't done it. I'm sorry. I just have a setup here, and that's what I've been using. So, okay. So let's go ahead and get some very simple Elo setup working. So we're going to cd over here. So cd into projects, algorithm archive. Actually cd in project Simuleos. L is here, and let's just make directory Elo. Okay. And same thing over here. cd projects, algorithm archive. Oh my gosh, I did it again. Projects Simuleos. Come on, and then Elo. Okay. Over here, we're going to cd into Elo. And I guess what I'm going to do is just open up Julia, and I'm going to do it in the main terminal over here. Actually, you know what? Let's just open up a new VI, and we're going to do elo.jl, right? I'm going to create a function, and I guess I'm just going to call this rate. I'm not really sure what I want to call it, but we want to read in two different ratings, so probably RA and then RB. And this is just going to be, if we have two people with two different Elo ratings coming into each other, what happens to the two of them? Now, the other day when we went to Wikipedia and we looked up Elo, I think I can just do the following. Wiki Elo, I think we can find it. Nice. And we want Elo rating system. It gave us a mathematical description of what happens when two people come in. So it looks like this is it. So, if player A has a rating RA and player B has a rating RB, the exact formula using a logistic curve for the expected score of player A is the following. So the expected A and expected B. And so what are we looking for? We're looking for a new rating. So here we're going to say that supposing player A has an expected score EA points, but actually scores SA points, the formula for updating that player's rating is RA prime is going to be equal to its previous rating plus some sort of scaling. Okay. So this means that this actually has two different things that we have to take into account. First, we have to find the expected score. And then after we find the expected score, we then need to find the new rating. So I guess we're going to do here and DDDD. And I guess I'm going to say we want a function here that's going to be function. And we're going to call it effective score, expected. I'm not really sure. Idle Programmer has an interesting mechanic. Instead of clicking, you key mesh like you're on a hacker typer. Oh, that sounds kind of fun. Okay, so we're going to do function. What are we going to call this? Expectation. That's stupid. 1 second. It's going to read in two values, RA and RB. So, if it's going to read in RA and RB, let's see. We probably want to call it expectation value. I'm just going to call it expected score. Screw it. And it's going to read in RA and then RB. Now, I don't actually like calling it RA and RB, so maybe we call it rating 1 and then rating 2 or something like that. End here. Okay. Also, the game has you upgrade languages for more income in order: Batch, Python, PHP, JavaScript, Java, C#, and C++. Wait, people in C++ get paid more than people in Python? I actually don't even know what batch is, if I'm being honest. I probably should, but I don't. Okay. Each language is supposedly an upgrade off the last, according to the Newgrounds game. So, like, do people who get paid, do people who do C programming, is that... Windows is... Wait, Batch is a Windows command line macro language? Oh, okay, it's like Bash, but probably worse. Okay. Expected score. Let's go ahead and just do the following. Return. What is it? It's going to be 1 over 1 plus 10 raised to the whatever over 400. Now, some of these are little... So like 400, for example. Why is there a 400 in there? It then follows that for each 400 rating points of advantage over the opponent, the expected score is magnified 10 times in comparison to the opponent's expected score. So let's go ahead in here and let's just create a new variable, which we're going to call, I don't know, double up. And this is going to be equal to 400. I don't know why I called it double up. Let me see. What should I have called it? It then follows that for each 400 rating points of advantage over the opponent, the expected magnitude the expected score is magnified 10 times in comparison to the opponent's expected score. So the point here is that it's some sort of exponent that tells us that if you're 400 points above the opponent, you should be 10 times more likely to find the result, right? Or to win that game, right? And the question is, how do you notate that? So I guess I'm gonna just call this base upgrade. I don't know, what should I call it? Base upgrade. That's what I'm gonna call it. You guys are just gonna have to deal with it. Upgrade. Okay, and in here I'm just gonna put some comments down, and we're gonna say expected. Rating 1 is gonna be the rating. Come on, I can type sometimes. Rating of player 1. I guess rating of player, and then the next one's gonna be rating of opponent. And this is going to be rating of opponent. And then finally we have, also apparently if these stats are to be believed in C++, a program is complete 5 programs per second on average. That's certainly not true. If you're writing something in C++, I can guarantee you are not going to be writing like more programs than people who are writing JavaScript or something like that, like an easier language to write code in. We're going to call this base upgrade. Well, maybe we should say, we'll call it scale. I'm not really sure what to call it. Let's do scale is what we're going to call it. And here we're just going to say scale is going to be how many points above, how many points above one player needs, above the other, one player needs to be to have a 10x. Oh man, this is an awful notation. Chance of winning the game. Tommy Torty 10, what's up? Hey all, I think it's been over a year since I was last here. No, it's not been over a year. I definitely saw you a few months ago, I thought. But honestly, I've been like super scattered as to whether I've actually been streaming regularly or not. So it's more on me than it is on anyone else. Hey Circumoto, how are you? Okay, so here we're just going to return 1 over, and we're just going to put some things in parentheses if I can type, which, you know, spoiler alert, I apparently struggle at it. And I believe it's going to be 10 raised to something. I can't find my parentheses today. It's going to be 1 plus 10 raised to the RB minus RA over 400. Okay, so it's going to be 1 plus 10 raised to the rating 2 minus rating 1. Come on, underscore, where are you? Okay, 1 second. I'm just having trouble with everything today. Divide by 400, so we want to divide this by 400. 1 second. Okay, here, there, and that should be over 400. Okay, and this actually should be under scale. Okay, that seems right to me. I'm gonna have to do one more parentheses here. JavaScript programmers, by contrast, complete 1 program every 2 seconds. Oh, I see what you're saying. Oh, no, wait, what? You're saying JavaScript programmers, by contrast, complete 1 program every 2 seconds? PHP noobs need 10 entire seconds to complete a program. What? I mean, I don't think this is at all consistent with real life. I think I have enough parentheses in here. So let's just see what happens if we go over here and we're going to run Julia. Now, look, I do 100% recognize that I had to change a lot of things with this new setup. So it might be hard to actually read the Julia terminal. Let me see what happens if I change this to large and I change this to large as well. No, I might just have to stick with this. It might just have to be default. This might just have to be huge. And we might just have to deal with the fact that we can only really read 1 terminal on screen. That's not great, but it is what it is. So we're going to go here, and I am just going to include stuff. So let's include, and it should be the only file I have available, elo.jl. This should give us a file, expectation score. Let's do expected score. instead of expectation score. Control D, write this one more time, go over here, run Julia, try it again. Okay, expected score. So I'm just gonna put in an expected score with two different values and see what we get here. So expected score of, let's do 400 and then 800. And if this is done correctly, that would mean we have an expected score of, okay, 1 second. What happens if we do 800 and 400? So this should have an expected score of about 10. No. They have a 90% chance to win. Okay, I understand. Right. That's how it is. They have a 90% chance to win this game. Right. So you could never have an expected score. So if this is 8,000 or something, yeah, then it's roughly 1. Right. So your expected score is going to be your chance of winning this game. And so we can modify the scale here. Scale is going to be, let's do 1,000 and probably put an equal sign in there. Good. Okay. Yeah, this seems fair enough for me. Okay. So now, given an expected score and given an actual rating for the match. So let's create a new function in here. So it's going to be function, and it's going to be called, let's see if I can spell function correctly. We're going to call it rate. And what do we want in here? We probably want rating 1, rating 2, and then we want some sort of, some sort of win, loss, draw. Like, did you win, did you lose, or did you draw? So I can do this with an enum, where I create an enum that's like win, loss, draw that I work with. Or, yeah, maybe, or I could read in a string. You must know PHP to even attempt learning JavaScript, though, so it's worth it even with the 2.5K fee. The game is really silly. Yeah, it sounds really silly. 1 second, let me go over here. Check something really quick. Okay. Again, guys, if you have any comments, questions, concerns, ideas, feel free to let me know, and I'll totally address it as soon as I see it in chat. Let me get some water, and then we'll just kind of keep going. And again, guys, this is a temporary setup, just for the record. I'm literally sitting on the floor in my wife's apartment. It's very hard to do streaming from OIST. I can do it now that I'm no longer an OIST employee, but I have to find a room that I could do it in and all this kind of stuff. So it's kind of, I don't know. I kind of feel like just streaming from the apartment is probably the best way to go for now. I don't know. Clearly there's like a wall behind me that I'm kind of leaning on. I just have like a pad that I'm sitting on, essentially. It's kind of weird. Progress is slow because it costs money to get hired. Wait, what? Does it cost money to get hired? I guess it costs money to get skills so that you can be hired. Okay, so rate. So function rate. We're going to take rating 1, take rating 2, and then what we want to do is we want to also have the score, which is going to be win-loss. Okay, yeah, let's do the following. I'm just going to create an enum for now. I don't know if this is the best way to do it, but that's what I'm going to do. An enum score is going to be 0, 1, 2, or rather, it's going to be enum is going to be win-loss, win-loss, draw. Probably win, draw, loss. Okay, let me look for enum. I've done this many times, but I just forget all the time. So at enum, and I'm going to want to do win, loss, draw. So let's go ahead and go up here and create that. At enum, I need to move the mic really quick. Something like that should do. Sorry about that. And we're just going to call it win. Probably what I actually want to do is enum. I want to give it a type called rating score, maybe score, and we're going to call it loss, draw, win. Is that how I do it? No, that's not how I do it at all. I really screwed up there. That should do it. Let me check over here just to make sure. Right here, and then I'm just going to copy that line over and see what we got. So let me grab this, move it over here. Okay, so now if I say loss, that should be equal to, yeah, 0. So loss equals 0 should give me... Okay, let me see. So if I say score of 0, yeah, that gives me 1. Okay, so if I say loss... I think this is fine, but I do have to refresh the Julia terminal really quick. Okay, so here we're going to say enum. Up here. Okay. Enum for different possible scores of win, loss, and draw. Whatever, it's fine. Who cares about the order? It's okay. People know what I'm trying to say here. Okay. So this function, let's just go here. This. Wait, what happened? What? How did I? Am I dumb? The answer is yes, but yeah, that's what I did. D2D, paste down here. I'm sorry, I kind of messed up the comment. Okay, so this function. What does this function do? Rates changes, or rather, should it change the rating of both players? Probably that's what it should do. We'll do changes. Well, how about rates single player? Rates a single player and returns the new rating. And then what I should do also is I should have another function afterwards as like rate exclamation mark that will do both at the same time. So let's go down here and do function rate exclamation mark, and we're gonna do rating 1 and rating 2 maybe. Let me think here. Well, okay, maybe it's fine. Let's just keep going with this line of thought and not worry about it. And then we want in here, I don't know, like S score. What do we have? Speaking of dumb, I'm now having my batch programmers make Python programs because they're more lucrative and because that's how, and that works somehow. I don't even get the option to hire Python programmers. I didn't, based on the rules that you gave me before, I didn't think that you could hire Python programmers. Okay, this function rates a single player and returns a new rating. Okay, that seems fine to me. I'm just gonna grab, what is, so the score for a single game, like, what can that be called, right? So loss, win, draw, like the outcome, maybe I'll call it outcome of type score, maybe something like this should do. And here, and let's just go and do yank to yank, paste it down here. And let me also change this so this has some sort of thing in here. So this function, what does this function do? Returns the expected score of, let's see, this function returns the expected score of a player and between a player and their opponent. Sure, that'll do. Let me add some spaces in here just because I feel like it and I think it makes it look a little bit nicer. And now I need to move this down here, 10x chance of winning. Okay. Going down here, doing something very similar. That'll do. Put it here, and then I need to do this. $. I'm gonna say outcome. The actual outcome of a given match. Okay, great. So we have that done. My microphone is just getting in my way today, so I don't exactly know where to put it. I guess here is fine. I'm just trying to make it, I keep accidentally hitting it, and I apologize for that. I can hire programmers for all other languages in this game, though. Oh, fair enough. Like all other languages, or all other languages that you enumerated before. Okay, so let's see. What do we have here? Function rate. So what are we going to do? We're just going to return back. I think I can just do this, like, straight off. The ones I enumerated. That's fair. Okay, so we have the expected A and the expected B. So we also need some sort of K. Now the K is going to change depending on a bunch of different things. So let's go in here. There's a couple other things that I have to read in. So the first is going to be something that's called scale, which I should probably call something else. And this is going to be equal to 400 unless specified. And then the other thing is going to be called like a K factor. So I think we need two different scales. The first scale is going to be I'm going to call it the Elo Scale. That doesn't make sense. It's a scale of, like, if you're 400 points above someone else, what does that mean? Like, how big of an advantage do you have when you're 400 points above someone else? That's what the Elo scale, or what the scale is supposed to represent. So I guess we can call it the Elo scale and then the win-loss scale or something like that. So let's do Elo scale. And down here we're going to say to have a, and let's just go here and delete some of these characters. To B. Okay. So we need to read in the Elo scale, and then we also need to read in the, again, this isn't the best name, but we'll figure it out. Sorry for the sneeze there. Let me go ahead and yank these guys in here. Yank to yank. Paste it down here. And then the next scale we're going to call the, I guess, outcome scale. Again, I don't really like these names, but we're just going to say this is going to be equal to 15 for now. Okay. Obviously, we can change this. So let me do yank to yank. Paste it down here. Paste it down here. And we're going to say outcome scale. And this is how many points above or below one's player. That's not what it is. $, DD here. The amount by which each game affects the player's rating. Okay. Should be okay. So I think we have everything that we need. Again, naming aside, the naming is kind of crap here, but I don't like doing the mathematical notation. I do realize that, like, probably everyone calls it a k-factor, but at the same time, no one knows what a k-factor is unless you describe what it is, which again is what I'm doing in the comment section here. I get that, but you know, it is what it is. 1 second, let me move my position a little bit. Okay. I've stopped playing both these games because they're bad. Sorry about that. Okay, so the function rate. In here, let's see, what are we going to do next? So what I want to do, I don't think I can immediately, or maybe I can immediately return. Let's just return, rating 1, plus, probably minus, or is it plus or minus? It is plus the outcome scale times, 1 second, times, it must be the expected, but actually scored SA points. The formula for updating that player's rating is the following. So it should be SA minus EA. So let's just see what happens. So the outcome, all right, minus the expected score of rating. Ooh, this is awful. Rating 1, rating 2. All right, let's just move this down to the next line, I guess. This is not great. I forget in Julia if the minus sign needs to be on the line above. For some reason, I feel like it does. Because I remember it's opposite of what I actually like. So rating 1, rating 2, and then we want the Elo scale. It just doesn't fit. No matter what I do, it's just not going to fit. So let's just bring it back up to this line and put it there. Bajuleo saw me call something bad and just couldn't resist. That's fair. Alright, let's move this back up to this line. Here. Add a parentheses there. DD that line. And let's just do the following. Yeah, this will work. So let's grab this and move it all the way over here. 1 second. Rating 1, rating 2. Do the same thing here. Elo scale, and I'm just going to say equals Elo scale. Doesn't fit. It still doesn't fit. No matter what, it just doesn't fit. Okay. That's fine. And Tyndall, thank you so much for the subscription for 4 months. Let me go ahead and put 4 Simul cows in the chat. Simul, okay, chotomate, sumimasen, Simul cow, 1, and just 3 more. 1 second. 2, 3, 4. I do really appreciate it. Good stuff going on today. Yeah, I'm glad you like it. Again, if anybody has any comments, questions, concerns, feel free to let me know, and I'll totally address it as soon as I see it in chat. Okay, so it should be I think I can just remove this. So let's just go ahead and do that. I think that'll work okay. Idle breakout is better so far. Which one was idle breakout? I don't remember. Okay, but in principle, we should be able to return rating 1 plus the outcome scale times the outcome minus the expected score. Rating 1, rating 2, rating 3. Okay, so let's just see what happens. This isn't going to work because I don't think... Yeah, let's just see what happens. So we're going to include here, syntax missing or something. Yes, I'm missing a parentheses here. Try it again, and let's see what we got. So we should have win should be described as score 2. So let me do win times 2 or 1. Of course, that's not going to work because we have no way to convert a score into an integer. Okay, so in that case, maybe we don't need the enum at all, and maybe we can just say, because the outcome is also going to be some sort of float 64. So we're just going to call this outcome, and we're not going to worry about it. Because I didn't realize before writing this function that the outcome would be like, just like a scale from 0 to 1 as well. It's a game I started playing just now, which is like Breakout in that there are balls bouncing around breaking bricks, but it's also an idle game. Yeah, that's fair. I had a friend who got really into Cookie Clicker, but I think that's the only idle game I really know about. So let's go and do include here. And I guess we can just try it. So let's do rate. And let's just say someone has an elo of 800, and they're playing someone who has an elo of 400, and they win the game, so they get 1 here. And this should, in principle, expected score, not defined. Expected score. Okay, let's fix that. Write this, go over here. I'm just going to close the Julia REPL and open it up again. And now we're going to include, and let's just try rating one more time. Scale not defined. That's because it is no longer scale. It is now Elo Scale, and I just forgot to update this down here. Okay, write that, go over here, include one more time, and rate. Okay, so it barely marginally increased 801. So let's try switching these guys around. So this is 800, and this is 400. But that just marginally increased. That just marginally increased the 400 as well. I would have thought the ELO would have been much higher than that. Maybe that's because the ELO scale is so low. So, oh, right. Because if the ELO scale is only 15, then the highest you could gain is 15. So he's actually getting pretty close to 15 here, which is totally fine. I think that's okay. So let's see what happens if we do 800. Sorry, this one that we did before. This guy loses. That means that they can lose a maximum of 15. Yep, and they just about do 0.5. They should still lose a lot. Yeah, so they lost about half of 15. Okay, that's totally fair. So if we change the scale here, so we're going to say the outcome scale is going to be equal to, let's do 50. And then we're going to do parentheses, or sorry, semicolon there, and we're going to say this person lost entirely. So this should be that the 800 lost about 50. And that's about what happened. It lost like 45 or something. Cool. Okay. I think this is working as expected. So let me go ahead and write this. And let's think about what we have to do next. This means that we have the ability to rate people based on their, like, how do I put this? We have the ability to rate people. And so if we start everyone with like the same ELO or whatever, we can give everyone a scale or something like that. And yeah, just kind of mess around with this. So I think what I want to do is go ahead and put this on GitHub. So git add elo.jl, git commit -m, adding a simple elo system. Okay. Git push origin master. Okay. So I'm going to do something slightly different for just a second, because I kind of need to take a break from this elo system and work on something else. So let me go over to github.com and let me mess around with one of the most recent pull requests to the algorithm archive, just because I do need to start doing this again, and I think it's important just to get this done. So the most important thing right now, I think, is the GitHub Actions workflow. which Nick Tyndall has just graciously done for us. And I need to figure out what I need to do with this. So I do realize I'm kind of switching topics for a bit, but I think it's important to spend, at least 30 minutes a day focusing on algorithm archive PRs and stuff like that. Essentially, for those of you guys who don't know, there's this thing called CI, or continuous integration, that basically allows for you to build, like if you send a pull request or you update something on GitHub, basically it is another action that will be done so that you don't have to do it manually behind the scenes. So for example, for us, the big thing that this needs to do is deploy the site. So this means that we update something, we send a pull request, it builds it to make sure the pull request will actually work. And then after that, we also need to make sure that when we actually merge a pull request into the algorithm archive, that this pull request is then built onto the website. So we had been using Travis for this, but honestly, Travis has been less than helpful recently. So let me go ahead and read through this pull request. I did it before over the weekend, but I wasn't able to get to it on Saturday afternoon or Sunday evening just because I had other stuff I had to do. So now I'm going to focus on it now and see what we can do on stream and basically get a list of things that I have to do off the stream, because I do think there's a few things that I specifically need to do off the stream just because it's going to have security stuff that I can't do on stream, for example. Okay. So this will require minor configuration in the repo settings. Please read the full text and references below before merging. Let me make this bigger so everyone can read it. So we need to merge the PR, and then we need to go to settings, pages, source, branch. It's like GitHub pages, folder, select root. Okay, so essentially what we're doing, so we currently don't have a GitHub pages branch. So what this is saying is that instead of having like a separate repo for the algorithm archivists, Wait, I don't think we have a GitHub pages branch. One second, let me just see what we have. I do realize that like nowadays it's like super common to have a GitHub pages branch, but that was not the case when we started the algorithm archive, which is why our whole setup is just kind of a bit funky. And we probably should set it up more normally. Okay. Also deploy a version to algorithmarchivist.github.io/algorithm archive. If you do not see it here, wait 3 to 8 minutes. So you'll need to go to settings, pages, source, branch. It's like GitHub pages, folder, select root. Okay. So up to here, this is non-destructive. So you can stop here with no side effects to any services. I highly recommend taking a break here and letting GitHub DNS propagate. The next change will bring down the site if it isn't correct. So we need to read this doc in full and follow the steps listed here. So this is where I didn't know. The merge will make it more correctly. The actions will make one. Oh, okay. That's fair. Thank you. So configure the custom domain. My DNS is for tyndall.dev. Look like the following. Okay, that seems good. Right, so this actually seems exactly what we need to do. So let's see. What I might do... Okay, so I've already done all this before, and I didn't have a problem with it before, but maybe I will have a problem with it. So this might be something that maybe we need to merge it now, and then we check it, and then I finish it after stream today. That might be what we need to do. Okay, so just to be clear, I mean, Nick is in the chat right now, but I think to be clear, merging it right now won't change anything. What we need to do is, the next change will bring to the site if it's incorrect. So read this doc in full. Again, I had done these before, so configuring the custom domain seemed fine. Right, and then add the custom domain to GitHub pages and settings pages custom domain. Right. Okay, so how about we just go ahead and merge this now, because it's going to take maybe 10 to 15 minutes, or I mean, they say 3 to 8 minutes, but we'll let it just kind of do its thing for a bit, and then we're going to come back to it. So one thing I need to mention here is that this should supersede another pull request that I had, which was on migrating to GitHub CI here. Now, this was tested. I did test all of this to make sure it works just fine, and it seemed to be okay. So the person that helped us with the GitHub, with the CI before was Berquist, who is here. But let's see. They said that they wanted to take a look at things, but let's see. That was on January 7th, so it was such a long time ago. I think it's probably fair just to say that this supersedes that. After the merge, you'll need to do the pages stuff listed in the step 2 before waiting. Wait. So after the merge, you'll need to do, it'll deploy the branch and start running actions, but there are no side effects. Okay, so let me take a look at the actions that we have here as well, just to see what we have, because I want to make sure that it's deploying at the right steps here. So, let's see. We want it to... Okay, this is where I need to look at my old pull request as well, because I did something very similar. I just don't remember exactly. So we want it to... So we want it on push and pull requests. So let's go over here on push. Is it possible to update this? Lightbook. Yeah, I'm doing okay. How are you? So I think one thing that I'd like to do here is ask, well, first I'll just ask a question. Does this already work for PRs? It was my understanding. One second. That, oh, I can't spell anything right now. That we needed something like this. Let me just add it in there. That guy, I think, is what we needed. Okay. Let's go here, paste that there. Start a view. Okay, and then the other question I have here, again, I'm not saying that this is wrong, I'm just saying I have questions because I don't know how it works. Does that actually run nowadays? Let me go over here, so cd into projects, algorithm archive, and then we're just going to npx honkit serve. I think it works. I usually use npm run serve. We do not want to deploy on PRs, as that would deploy over our main and master branch. Separate build. Oh. Maybe I misunderstood. Right, let me see. So this does deploy. Oh, build. Okay, so build does on pull request. I understand now. Okay, I got it. Thank you. That's what I needed. Okay, so let's go ahead and remove that then, because that was me not understanding. Let's go ahead and do that. Good. Okay, so this does... Right, this probably works a bit better anyway than whatever I had, because I had one big GitHub CI script, whereas this is two small ones that both do the same thing. 1 second. Or not the same thing, but one does the deployment step, the other does not do the deployment step. Okay, so... 1 second, I'm moving around. Oh gosh, everything's just messed up. Okay. Then, in this case, that seems fine. Yeah, okay, then I think I'm happy with it. Right. Yeah, okay, this seems good, because I think having the two separate scripts means that we no longer need this thing in here, which is what I had there. Now, one question I do have is down here. Why did I need a GitHub token? I feel like I needed specifically a GitHub token so that I could dispatch to... yeah, the right directory. I feel like I needed that, and I don't remember why. Feel free to test against my fork for behavior. Yeah, I might do that. I'm trying to think here though. I need to remember. Oh, Uncle Bill, a few minutes ago. Thank you so much for the host with one viewer. I missed that. But yeah, so why did I need the GitHub token? Wasn't that to authenticate the... Wasn't that... Hey, Uncle Bill. To authenticate the pushing to the... What was it for? 1 second. I just screwed up on my side screen. Here we are. Streamlabs. I usually have Streamlabs up in the background so that I can see like just notifications and stuff like that. And I just didn't have it up. So give me a second and let me pull it up. Okay. Recent events. Perfect. Okay. Yeah, that's the only thing I don't remember. Why did I need the GitHub token? So does this James Ivis thing here, get a pages deploy action, is this thing... Is this circumventing the need for the Oh, it must be, because before, what I had to do here was authenticate it myself. Right, so before I had to authenticate it myself, but this time I don't need to. Yeah, okay. I think this looks good to me. I'm happy to merge it. So let's go ahead and try that then. So, Nick, since you're here in chat, let me just be clear. I think I'm relatively happy with this. I think if I merge it, I think it'll be okay. But I do think there's a few things that I need to do that... So I think this is all set up already. But I think there's a few things I need to do. GitHub Actions already has the access required. Okay, that's fair. I feel like things have changed over the past few years that have made like certain things that we did before like irrelevant and stuff. Okay, so I'm just gonna write down on the GitHub issue here, and so I'm just gonna say, okay, I think this looks good to me, and I'm just gonna say, to be clear, this is what we need to do, just so that I'm happy with it. So let's go here, review changes, and I'm gonna say, okay. I think this. I can't. My microphone is all over the place. Looks good to. Okay, so my big problem is that the way that my my microphone is set up, it's like touching my hands when I'm like typing. And so I think what I need to do is maybe give me just a second, move my microphone up just a hair, something like that, and move it closer here. Okay, maybe that'll do. Yeah, that's a little bit better. I feel like I need to bring it up, but I can't bring it up because then it's like right on my face, which I guess is fine, but you know. Okay, I think this is good to me. To be clear, after this needs to be done in 2 steps. The first is merging the PR, and then the second is going to be 1 second. Setting up the Cname requirements and all that kind of stuff. Right, so settings, pages, source, branch, select GitHub pages, folder, select root, hit save. Okay, I think I'll just do it as it says. Okay, let's just do it. And let's just say, let's give it a shot. All right. Sorry I'm so slow with this kind of stuff. Let's, okay. So we're just gonna submit the review, approve. And let's just do it, okay? Like, what's the worst that could happen, right? I say, and the site will go down. So, let's go and squash and merge this guy. Wait, let me check just to make sure one last time. Because anything to do with CI, just like, it terrifies me. So, we're gonna do commits here. Not commits, sorry, I wanted files changed. And let's just do it now. So, algorithm archivist, algorithm archive. Okay, I think this is fine. So we're gonna do, yeah, so is it already running? No, that's fine. 1 second, here, there. Okay, it's not running right now. Let me go up here. Sorry guys that I suck at GitHub Actions and everything. Actions. Okay, let's just do set up a workflow yourself. Oh, nope. That's not what I need. Actions. Oh, once merged. Right. Okay, so let's go here and let's merge it, and then we'll mess around with it a bit. Okay, so let's squash and merge, and just see what happens. Worst case scenario, we revert it back to what it was before. It's important to do this now, or to do it, you know. Okay, so now we should be able to refresh the page, and hopefully if we take a look at actions, add support here. Okay, great. So let's go ahead and do the next step here, which means that we need to go to settings, pages, source, branch, and let's just do that now. I think I can do this all here without any problems, because I don't think it's going to show any secret tokens, unless I actually go to secrets here. So we're going to do settings, pages, options, pages. Source should be git. Select source below. Theme color. Wait, 1 second. GitHub pages is designed to host your personal organization and project pages as GitHub repository. So the GitHub Pages branch doesn't seem to exist yet, which is, I guess, fine. Let's take a look over here. Right. Yeah, that's totally fair. Let's take a look at what's happening. Build and deploy. See what it is. Okay, install and build. All right, we'll give it a second. It takes just a second to install and build. By the way, Nick, thank you so much for doing this. I do really appreciate it. I know I'm kind of tired today, so I might sound like I'm just like super, I don't know what, but like I do actually really appreciate the help here, because it's stuff that I really do suck at and I need to get better at. So give it a second to finish running, and then hopefully this will build, and then this will be the PR we work on today. And again, every day from now on, I'm gonna work on a PR. That's the point. We're just gonna do a PR a day. I know I said that before, but you know, we've got 70 open PRs, and I've been neglecting that part of the work for a while now. So we're just gonna get it done. It looks like the job is complete. So let's go back over here, refresh this page, and then hopefully your site will be published at there. Okay, so source here, and we want to change this to the GitHub Pages branch. Root, I think that's right. Select root, hit save. Save there. Okay, and then the next thing is I need to so deploy a version there. Okay, and then we need to wait for a few minutes. Okay, let's do 1 second. Algorithm archivist.github.io. I know it's Asia, but why are you on the floor? You haven't seen my apartment. There's literally nowhere else I can sit right now. It's like either on the floor or like nowhere else. Like we only have one chair in the apartment. And I could technically put everything on the desk. But it's just, there's stuff already on the desk, and you know, if I did put it on the desk, then the camera would be facing essentially just a pile of junk, because we just have so much stuff around because we're in the middle of a move. So, I mean, like, I have a job, it's fine, but yeah, it's just, again, it's simply because, like, I literally just moved from Okinawa to, from Alabama. I moved from Boston to Alabama, Alabama to Okinawa, and now we're going to move from Okinawa to Boston, to Barcelona. And in that process, we just have a bunch of stuff everywhere, and it's just, it is what it is, you know? Okay, so what's the next thing that we need to do? I need to go to this website here. Let's go ahead and open it up here. There. And it looks like everything's fine here. Good. Okay, so now the next thing we need to do is go to here. Okay, so you can... to make this less stressful later on, you can reduce your TTL times on your resources that are currently pointing to whatever Travis stuff, like 60, without changing the IP address. I don't know what that means, and I'm so sorry. Reduce your TTL times on your resources that are currently pointing to whatever Travis stuff to like 60. Yeah, I really don't know what that means, and I'm so sorry. You can stop here with no side effects to any services. I highly recommend taking a break. Okay, so it looks like everything's okay. So now the next step will be to we'll bring down the site if it's incorrect. So we need to read that, follow the steps here. So I think the difference here is that previously it was just algorithmarchivist.github.io, and now it's algorithmarchivists.github.io/algorithmarchive, which is a slightly different branch. So we need to add the custom domain to GitHub Pages in settings, pages, custom domain. Right. So oh, I see. So this is ignoring. So we no longer need the algorithmarchivist.github.io directory at all. You're essentially just getting rid of that. That's fine. I understand what's happening now. Okay, perfect. So in that case, I need to create the Cname directory, the Cname stuff and all that. So let's go ahead and do that then. I think what I can do is go over here. Let's just do Control-C. We go there, and we're just going to cd projects, algorithm archivists, algorithm archive. And I think what I need to do is cp algorithm archivists.github.io, and there should be a Cname file in here. Yep. I think I need that over here. Cname. Here. Okay. Great. And then let's see, what else do I need to do? I think it's just, I literally think Cname was just like the name of the website. Okay. So let's just go ahead and do it then. We'll get it done now so we don't have to do it again later. Okay. Configuring in, I don't know how much of this I should show though. I feel like some of it I shouldn't. So we'll just kind of, I might go down, I might turn the stream off in a bit. So I did all of this for a different repo. So I think I have to do the same for, right. Okay, so I think what I can do here, right, that's what I thought you were doing. So now I didn't realize we were removing the repo entirely. So let's go here and let's just kind of mess around a bit. So we're going to go to settings and then we want to go to pages. And now we're going to do, there should be a custom domain here. This custom domains allow your server to cite from a domain other than that. Oh, no, that is the site that we want, though. So, enforce HTTPS should be fine. 1 second. I don't know why HTTPS isn't allowed. I think I can just steal the settings from the other repository then, can't I? Let's do pages. 1 second. Right. No, it didn't even go there. 1 second. There we are. Branch master. If you already have that set up as a repo folder, you should be good. 1 second. Where were your files before? So all the files were just on the master branch of algorithmarchivist.github.io. So we were just pushing there, right? I should be able to enforce. Oh wait, why am I not able to enforce HTTPS? 1 second. What? But it is HTTPS, and it's being enforced as HTTPS. What's going on? Okay, we'll worry about that in just a second. So your site is published there. That's fine. So let's go over here. So algorithmarchive.org/algorithmarchive. Also fine. But now we want the algorithmarchive.org/algorithmarchive to be the primary, algorithm archive, right? So how do we do that? I think what we need to do is, do we need to remove? Okay, how about we go over here and we just do, just the algorithmarchive.org. Go back here, grab this guy, Control C, go over here, and just paste that in, Control V. Right, yeah, I think I understand what's happening here. So if we save that, right. Right, so we need to delete that other repo. So I'm very scared to do that. Yeah. But I guess what I can do is just remove it here for a second. And then go back over here and paste that there, save that, and then presumably it'll be fine. Let's see. So no changes. It looks like it's fine. Yeah, it looks like it's fine, I think. Custom domains allow you to serve your site. I think it's okay. It seems fine. Yeah, so it seems like everything's okay. Yeah. So I think it's up. It says the site's published here. You'll need to remove its Cname file as well. Right, so I think what I need to do is have a Cname file in the algorithm archive here. So I think I need to add a file, create a new file, which is just Cname. And it's literally just, okay, one second. algorithmarchive.github.io. Yeah, it should just be this guy. Algorithmarchive.org. So let's just paste that in here. And I think I need that there, and then I need to remove the other repository entirely, right? Sorry for all the trouble. I do appreciate it. I mean, since you're here, I figure we should just get it done, you know? That way we don't have to think about it. Don't create that file. Okay. That's fine. Yep. I'm listening. So just... okay, so it does seem like we're pushing to the right... oh, the file's auto-created. Okay, so you're saying if I just get rid of this repository here, we should be fine now? So let me take a look here then at the algorithm archive here. So at this stage, it looks like if I go to the GitHub Pages branch, it should already be in the GitHub Pages branch. We should see Cname. Yep, so here's Cname. Perfect. Perfect. Okay, so then all I need to do is basically remove the other repository, right? What I would like to do, just to make sure everything's up to date. So here's GitHub Pages. It was pushed 2 minutes ago. Let me do pull requests in here. I kind of want to see if there's something I could quickly push just to make sure that it's kind of working okay. So I want to just get through a pull request. I'm going to go ahead and close this one for now. And see if there's something we can just quickly merge just to see if that's updated on the site. Right. So let me go ahead and I'm going to close this PR. So this is closed. I am closing this for now because, what was the one we just merged? 7. What was the one we just merged? Okay, so let's go to pull requests and go to the closed ones. And it looks like we have add support for GitHub Actions workflows, and this was 821. Because 821 does it better. Let's see. We have merged 821 instead. Okay, I think that's okay. So we're going to close with comment. Right, so that's closed. So that means we got through 2 PRs today. That's pretty good. And the next thing I want to do is... what did I say? Oh, no, I think I said 821. Yeah, perfect. Okay, so the next thing I want to do is maybe just merge one more PR just to say it's merged. Java implementation of iterative function systems. What is it? Apart from the exception, I have basically nothing against this code. It's clean. Though maybe implementing a code method instead of directly copying arguments of the previous iteration might be a bit more intuitive. Okay, there we go. So this one looks like it's good to go. So Java implementation for iterative function systems. Let me take a look here. It looks like they've added it in. I'm just going to build it locally just to make sure everything's built. And then we're going to push it. And then after pushing it, we're just going to see if it's updated on the site. So let's do it. Back. And then that should hopefully solve our problems. So let's go here to command line instructions, grab the latest change here, go over here, quit there. Let me check what branch I'm on. Git stash, git checkout master. All right, so now let's go ahead and put in the latest changes here. Again, I'm just pulling it, locally just to make sure everything's fine. Right quit. Okay, Control D. And now we're just going to cd into projects, algorithm archive, and then npm run serve. Give it a second to build. And then once that's done, we'll just take a look and see if it's there, if everything looks good to me, and just merge that guy, and then see if it updated on the site or not. And if it did update on the site, then I'm relatively confident in saying that, we can probably remove the other repository. Let me take a look at the local host here. Over here, local host, perfect. And it was for iterative function systems. We should have Java available, perfect. And let's just scroll down. I don't think there was too much code until this section. Let me switch between that and Julia. Yep, seems fine. And then let's go down a little bit further. here to the Java code. Perfect. Yeah, this looks great to me. Okay, sounds good. So let's go back to the Java implementation here. Yes, here. Conversation. It has a positive review, which means I think I should be able to squash and merge it. So let's do... I'm so sorry, guys. Give me a second. I'm just like... It's been a while. So let's go review changes, approve, and just say @Amaris likes it, and I do too. Go ahead and merge it. Okay, we're gonna go ahead and submit that review, approve it, and then we're just gonna pop in here and squash and merge. Before you move the other repo, you need to check your Cname records for your domain register. Right. Okay. So that was done on a site called NameSilo, I think. But you're right, I do need to do that. So that seems to be okay. Let's go ahead, go to the actions here. It looks like it's building, so let's go ahead and remove some of these unnecessary tabs. And while it's building, I'm actually going to be right back, guys. I'm just going to fill up on some water, so give me just a second. And then we should be good to go. So give me a second, guys. I'll be right back. Okay, I'm back. Let me go ahead and write down what Nick's saying and to put it on a sticky note so I can put it on my computer so I don't forget about it. So the two things I need to do are look at the Cname records for both Cloudflare and NameSilo. So let's go ahead and do that right now. Well, not right now. I'll do it after stream. That's the kind of stuff I don't want to do because I'm somewhat afraid of, like, I don't know, weird security risks or something like that. So when you look at the Cname stuff, on Cloudflare and NameSilo. Okay, I have that on a sticky note. I'll put it somewhere. Not exactly sure where. I guess just right here. Okay, maybe there. That's the perfect place. Right on the inside of my computer. Yep, that's it. Wonderful. Okay. Good. So actually, I'm relatively happy, incredibly happy actually, with the progress we've made on the stream. We've merged a few PRs. I think we have a solution to the GitHub pages issue, or not GitHub pages, well, kind of GitHub pages, the whole CI issues that we've been having. And so that's really nice, actually. The fact that we got all that done means we're actually getting somewhere, right? So let's go ahead and take a look at the algorithmarchive.org. I'm going to open it up on a new browser. So let's go here to private window. I don't know why. I just didn't want any cookies or anything. I don't know what I'm thinking. So algorithm archive, algorithmarchive.org. And let me go to iterative function system, see if there's a Java version. There is a Java version. Okay, so it seems that right now, whatever the workflow is, it seems to be working okay. And I'm happy enough with that. So we do need to check to make sure that the Cname stuff is all set up. Because I don't think that this pushed to, let me go algorithm archivists. I don't think it pushed to algorithmarchivists.github.io. Oh, maybe it did. Oh, but just the deleting the Cname. Let me see what else we have here. Let me take the other commits. Yeah, it doesn't seem to deploy. So I think it's kind of okay to leave this as is, because this site doesn't deploy anyway. So we'll take a look at the Cname stuff for Cloudflare and all that, just to make sure it's working, but I'll do that after stream. So I wrote down a sticky note, so I'd remember to do that later. Good. Okay, so that is great. I'm going to take just a few minutes to decompress, and then we'll move on to the next thing. So, usually, if this was back in Boston, I would be doing like a quick 5-minute workout or something now, just to kind of get the blood flowing and stuff. But again, I'm kind of in the middle of moving and all that kind of stuff, so I don't have the ability to do that right now. So I think now we just kind of need to go back to the other problem that we were working on a second ago and start tackling that. Again, let me get a quick sip of water, and if you guys have any comments, questions, concerns, anything like that, let me know. Leave this for fallback DNS. Right, I think that's fine. Spatjib, hey, how are you? I hope you're having a wonderful day. And let's see, what do we have here? All right, oh, there is an error on my side screen. Let me fix that, I think. Okay, I think it's okay. Yeah, it seems fine. Okay. Actually, maybe it doesn't. I guess it's whatever. We'll figure it out. Right. Okay, so we talked a bit about Elo, so now let's go ahead. We have the first implementation done. Now we just have a bunch of other stuff to do. So, like I said, the reason we're interested in the Elo system, actually, let me just leave that up because screw it, is that we're going to have basically 1,500 applications. 1,500 applications. We don't know how many applications, but we're going to have a large number of applications to the Summer of Math Exposition, which is going to be held this summer. Well, it's basically you have like maybe another week to submit entries or something like that. So the question is, how do we actually do all of the grading? And the answer is, well, we're hoping to do it via an Elo system, right? So now we have to kind of code up the rest of this project. So assuming that we have 1,500 people, right? Now we have a bunch of questions to answer, which is, first of all, how do we pair them? How do we pair them? Right. So the idea is that each one of the 1,500 people will get like 5 other people that they need to grade, right? And they'll do this in kind of a ranked order list. So this means that like they'll say, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So 1 is how do we pair them? 2 is how do we interpret results? So for example, if they give us a ranked list of 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, what do we do with that information? So that's the second question that we have here. And then the third question we have are more like logistical questions related to like, assuming that we have them paired correctly and we have the results interpreted correctly. Maybe that's all we need. So maybe that's fine. Okay, so let's do a quick simulation then. Let's see what we need to do here. So I don't know which one's most interesting. So this one we need to do some sort of permutation of our list so that we can create a set of 5 that that can then be rank ordered. And the next one is going to be a bit more challenging. So how do we want it? What are we even looking for here? So we have 1,500 people, and we want each of those 1,500 people to look at 5 other people, right? That's what we're looking for. And that means that if we want each of those 1,500 people to look at 5 people, we want it to be uniformly distributed in such a way that each person is graded 5 times. So that means what we're looking for is the following. We'll have one person, and he has a choice to look at any of the 1,500 people, right? Oh, well, let's just draw that as a box, because I'm not very good at drawing boxes. So he has a chance to look at any of the 1,500 people, any of the 1,500 other applicants, right? So he's asking, which one do I look at? What we might do is we might, it sounds really stupid, but I might create 5 lists, okay? So we have this times 5, okay? And then what we do is we shuffle it. So we just shuffle, right? And then we just give the first person the first 5 elements here. And we give the second person the second 5 elements. And the third person the third 5 elements, right? And that'll just keep going. And eventually we'll be done with the first array, and then we move on to the second array. And the reason I'm thinking about doing this way is because we need to make sure that every person is judged 5 times. And also make sure that no person is accidentally judged against themselves, right? So how can we do this? Now, we also want to make sure that the array is shuffled differently each time. So, yeah, just to make sure that no list of 5 are the same as anyone else's. So I think what I'm going to do, we're going to want basically a dictionary. We want to shuffle that dictionary. So let's just kind of mess around with Julia and see what we can do. Let's go over here, CD projects, Simuleos, and let's go into Elo. Over here, one second, CD projects, CD projects, Simuleos. MIT students wrote some of this. Did they? Simuleos Elo. From the computational thinking class? I don't remember us doing something like that in the computational thinking class. But did we? Maybe it was in another class. It's not perfect, but look up gavel. Gavel method. An Expo judging system. Gavel gap report. One second, let me just look this up on Google instead. Gavel. For hackathons. That's not what I needed. H. Project Expo judging system. I think this is what I want. Okay, so what is this? It was originally built for Hack MIT and first used at Hack MIT 2015. It's been used by dozens of other events. If you use Gavel for your event, please add yourself to the list. It only takes a minute, and knowing that Gavel is helping real events helps keep us going. I found a good idle game in Idle Breakout, so that's my cue to stop looking and go to bed. Okay, have a good night then. Thanks for stopping by. Okay. So Gavel is based on the method of pairwise comparisons. Before you use Gavel, it's highly recommended that you read about the philosophy behind the implementation, as well as hints as to how to use it in practice. So let's see, Gavel is stable software. We've used it successfully at Hack MIT, and a bunch of other hackathons and events have used it too. Okay. What is it doing though? Where's the paper? One second. Development.md, what is it actually doing? To set up the system, use the admin interface on /admin, log in with the username admin and the password you set. Once you're logged in, you can input information for all the projects and judges. As you add judges, they'll automatically get emails with invitation links. After that, the judging and ranking process is fully automated. The judge will be able to read the welcome text, and they'll be able to start judging. The admin panel will rank. Okay, this isn't quite. I need to figure out what they're doing though. Okay, here's some blog posts. Let's just read those. because this might be exactly what I need. So designing a better judging system. Competition judging is hard. Coming up with fair methods to select rankings is difficult, and it's especially hard to design judging methods for large-scale events. As an attendee of many hackathons and as an organizer of Hack MIT, I wanted to figure out a way to improve the quality of judging at hackathons and large-scale competitions in general. Sometimes poor judging is a result of neglect or lack of organization. However, most judging methods themselves are inherently flawed. It's possible to do a lot better. When trying to design a good judging system, large-scale events in particular pose a unique challenge. Because events are so large, no single judge can judge all the entries. In fact, at Hack MIT, the average judge can only the average judge looked at only 5% of the applicants. The challenge is to figure out what data to collect and how to combine the data to come up with good overall judging results. This might be kind of exactly what I needed, actually. So that's the thing. Like, I need to read this post to make sure it's actually what we need, but maybe this is what we need. If you don't mind, maybe we just read through this on stream, and this is kind of what we're planning to do, because they probably do something way more sophisticated, or they do something in a more sophisticated way than what I was planning to do, is my guess. I mean, look, I was also at MIT, but the fact is I've spent a week thinking about this, as opposed to like these guys spending and actually using it for several different events. The other thing too is about this software is it's kind of robust-ish. So let's see, what do we have here? It's some distributed sum judgment thing. Yeah, I think that's what it is. Let's see what this does. Yeah, thank you so much for this. This might be exactly what I need. That's not what I meant. 1 second. I opened up the wrong thing. There. Okay. An Expo judging system. History, public release. Okay, let me see. Gavel is an Expo judging system. We've used it to automate judging at Hack MIT, a 1,000-person event with over 200 projects and 100 judges. Dozens of other events have also used Gavel since the software was released in private beta in late 2015. Right. Gavel fully automates Expo judging and logistics and project ranking. The system tells judges which projects to look at, collects judges' votes, and produces a ranking of projects. Here's a demo of the judge interface. Okay. So they're still not at the scale that we need, right? 200 events, 200 things, and 100 judges. It's not quite right, but we'll see what we have. The asterisk version is best due to user interface improvements. Okay, so what is... I didn't realize there was a difference here. Let's see, what do we have? Where is the asterisk version? Sorry. Okay. It turns out that we can radically change the judging model, and instead of having judges produce absolute scores, we can ask judges to perform pairwise comparisons using statistical inference methods. It's possible to take data of this form and produce high-quality judging results. The method of pairwise comparisons actually works pretty well in practice. We relied on this method for judging at Blueprint, Hack MIT's high school hackathon, and we're thinking of using some form of this judging method starting from Hack MIT's 2015 as well. Right, I just wanted a link. Okay, so averaging, first method. Perhaps the most straightforward judging method is to have numerical scores and average them. It's really easy to have judges assign numerical scores to each entry they judge, average the scores per entry, and rank the entries by average score. Because this method is so easy to implement, it's no wonder that it's so common. The vast majority of events use something like this. However, this model is deeply flawed. What does it mean when a judge A gives entry X a 7 out of 10, and judge B gives entry Y a 4 out of 10? Does it mean that X was objectively better, or does it mean that judge B was particularly harsh? This is just one of the many problems with this method, right? Which is why we were also doing something like a pairwise comparison. It wasn't quite pairwise, but it was something similar. So we were doing like a 5-point comparison or something. Okay, so normalization. In some situations, it's possible to improve the averaging approach by normalizing judges' scores. This is a method that was used for judging MIT BitComp. 1 second, I need to check something really quick. Let me go here. Right, okay, sorry about that. In this system, to account for the variations in judging, scores are normalized to have a mean of 0 and a standard deviation of 1. Given raw scores x1 through xn from a single judge, we can compute normalized scores xi by computing the following. Are you interested in the implementation or application of the software? Well, so I need to check the implementation to make sure that the application can be used. So that's why I'm looking at the actual implementation. Or, well, not quite the implementation, but I'm looking at what they actually do. I'm not going to look at the code. I just want to look at like what the mathematical background is. Because if I can get the mathematical background, I'm like, hey, this is actually what we need, then we can use it. The fact is, for the Sum1 competition, we're going to have like a weird judge ratio of like 2 to 2,000 or something. Well, not 2 to 2,000, but it's going to be like 10 judges for 1,500 applicants or something like that. And now we could make it so we have way more judges if we have all the applicants also judge, but I don't know about that. I meant more, are you interested in the implementation for implementation's sake or using the information stored in some judging event? Yeah, so we actually do need this to be applied somewhere. This is for the Summer of Math Exposition that we're doing this summer, which is just a way for people to submit like math exposition and talk about it. Like we're just trying to get people to be more engaged with creating educational content online. Okay, so the expression above, we have the following. Mu is equal to 1 over n, and sigma squared is equal to that. This is fine. This is a step in the right direction. However, the approach is still flawed. For one, given the way that the numbers are for a lot of these large events, individual judges look at tiny fraction of the entries. Normalizing judges' scores could harm good entries. It could also give an undeserved boost to bad entries. Yes, that's I think what I'm looking for here. Let's go there, paste it. 1 second. What skill level is this event aimed towards? It's aimed for basically any school level or any educational level. So essentially the hope is that if you're a high school and you're just trying to do this for the first time, that's fine. If you are a PhD student trying to explain your research, that's also fine. The hope is that we just get more people involved with the process and we judge kind of accordingly, right? Like it depends on like, what the audience is and stuff like that. Note that if you're not having an abundance of judges, this algorithm isn't great. Right, so that's the other issue. So the question is, how do we... Okay, so my question is, we could make it so every person is a judge of other people, right? And then we do a final tally at the end once we get the top 100 people, right? So we could use this as bulk judging and then do manual grading after the fact. That could be something that we do, but I'm not entirely sure. So let's just go ahead and open this up in Zernal and just kind of poke at it a little bit. Yeah, and see what we can do. Maybe I also... Right, so I can delete that for now. Maybe I also just keep going with the blog post a little bit further. Okay, preliminary algorithm, robust model. Okay, let's just see what we have here. Like a heuristic to pick out the best and the manual investigation. Right, that's what I'm looking for. Something that gives us like the top 20% or something like that, so that we can then look at the top 100 people individually, right? I think it's fine for us to go through maybe 100 entries, but that's kind of that's as much as I'd be willing to go through, right? I think 100 is actually probably too many. But, if we have 1,500 applications, the top 100 entries is still pretty good. Okay. So what do we have here? Maybe I read through the blog post and then I also read through the paper. And we just kind of... So read through the blog post, see if this sounds like it's in the right direction. Then we read through the paper, which should give us a better understanding of what it does. And then if that seems applicable, we can go from there. So let me go ahead and make this a bit bigger because I do realize that it might be a little bit hard to read for people watching on the stream. And let's just kind of go through it. So judging by assigning explicit numerical scores is inherently flawed. Assigning numerical scores to entries is not a task that people are good at. The following XKCD comic illustrates the phenomenon. Any pain? My arm really hurts. How would you rate the pain from 1 to 10, where 10 is the worst pain you can imagine? Worst pain I can imagine? 1. What the heck's wrong with his imagination? That's fair. So numerical scores are nonsense to begin with. Even then, it's especially bad when judges don't have a global view of all the entries and only see a tiny percentage of entries. And with the current systems, judging results are dependent on the order in which entries are judged. Judges look at one entry at a time, so when judged the first So when judging the first entry, they have no context and nothing to compare it to when assigning a score. After judging many entries, the judge's outlook may change. Judging results should be independent of the order in which entries are judged. My gosh, I can't read today, and I'm so sorry. And judges can't just go back and adjust scores. After judging several events, they all start to blur together. Okay, so better approach. People are much better at making comparative judgments than determining absolute scores for options, and there's a good amount of psychology and economics research to back up this claim. Pairwise comparison is the way to go for obtaining high-quality judging results. It's easy to understand the advantages of this approach by considering examples. Try rating Emacs on a scale from 1 to 10. Now think about whether Vim is better than Emacs. Right, so Emacs on the scale from 1 to 10 is clearly a 0. Like, it's not even on the scale. Vim, on the other hand, is like 12. I don't even understand why they even had this, benchmark. Like, what, are they going to then say, like, Notebook? No, like, Notepad's, like, slightly better than Emacs, but still definitely worse than Vim, so I give Emacs, Notepad, like, a 2, I don't know. So when collecting pairwise comparison data, we do have to be a little careful. Even though we won't necessarily have comparison data between every pair of entries, we do not want disjoint sets of entries that are never even indirectly compared to each other. Ensuring that we have good data, we can use information from the comparisons to determine a global ranking. The method of pairwise comparisons has other nice applications as well. Luce's choice axiom states that the probability of selecting one item over another from a pool of many items is not affected by the presence or absence of other items. This is a nice property to have when judges see a small percentage of entries. Taking this independent property into account, we can also allow us to develop better methods. Oh my gosh, I can't read. That disjoint data point is the reason you need many judges for this to work well. Okay, that's fair. But I think we can... Right, I need to know what it means by many, right? So, like, for example, we could have every single entrant also be a judge. Like, we could do that. And we could say, just look at 5 entries, and then we're just going to grab the top, 10% or something like that. That would be fine. We can ask them to do that. Because we did write that in. If you submit an entry, we ask that you also judge some entries. So let me just read a bit further here. So pairwise comparison is clearly the right way to measure the quality of entries. The tricky part is how to turn the measurements into judging results. Okay, so representations of measurements. Before designing a model, it's necessary to think about the form and representation of the result of the many pairwise comparisons. We need to keep in mind that any given pair of entries may be compared with each other 0 or more times, and that the judges may have conflicting opinions about the comparative quality of the entries. The results of the pairwise comparisons between entries E1 through N is a multiset of tuples where the elements EJ, EI, J, I suppose not equal to I, represents a single judging decision where entry EI was judged to be better than entry EJ. Okay, I think I understand what this is saying. It's just a bunch of tuples where you do like comparisons between EI and EJ. We can also think of the measurements as a directed graph on nodes n. Yeah, see, this is how I naturally thought of it, as a directed graph, E1 through En, representing the entries, having non-negative integer edge weights, with the edge EJ, EI having a weight of Wij equal to the number of times entry EI was judged to be better than EJ, so arrows point to better entries. Right. It's also useful to consider a matrix representation of the data that follows naturally from the graph representation. We have a matrix S with non-negative integer entries where Sij is equal to the number of entries Ei was judged better than Ej. Okay, that's fair. So essentially you just have like all the entries and you say, okay, how many times was Ei better than Ej? And then like it's more green if Ei is way better than Ej, or more red if it's way worse than Ej. I think we saw that in the paper over here. In this figure here. So it's kind of like if they're doing super well, it's rated as blue. This is a pretty natural way to think about it. Right, I think so as well. Where am I? I'm over here. That's a sort of partial ordering graph. Right. I agree. Okay, so after we have representation of our measurements, we can start thinking about how to translate comparisons into a ranking. It's natural to think about finding a topological sort of comparison graph. Informally, a topological sort would translate to a ranking that none of the judges disagree with. I'm sorry, I just kind of like moved the microphone around. I don't know why I did that. Sorry about that. Unfortunately, in general, a topological sort will not necessarily exist because the comparison graph could be cyclic, right? That was also the challenge I was running into a second ago, which was why I wanted to use some sort of spin ice comparison. There's like this thing in physics called spin ice, which essentially you have a bunch of, I don't know, atomic spins that are all pointed in different directions. And the question is, how do you move the spins in the right direction in order to create, you could say, a magnetic field in a certain direction, right? So it's a graph problem that has been solved in physics just because, you know, nature solves all problems. And so I was thinking maybe we could use something like that. But again, that's like an active research field, not something to do just for this week when we have to get something in for the judging. So instead, we can consider a slightly different problem, finding the best possible ranking that we can in terms of some cost function. We are given a weighted directed graph, G is equal to VE, with edges VI, VJ having a weight WIJ. Okay, we have a bit of math here. We can define permutations of the node sigma as V onto 1 to absolute value of V, when we can determine backwards edges as a function of the permutation EB sigma. I'm going to be honest, I'm a bit lost here. Within E. So we can define the cost of any given permutation as the sum of the weights of the backwards edges. We can then define an optimal ranking. Maybe I just keep going, and maybe it gets better. Oh no, it doesn't look like it's getting any better. It looks like I'm just going to be lost. Let me just read the conclusions here, and then we'll read the paper, which is probably a bit easier to follow. Many judging methods that are commonly used at competitions are inherently flawed because of their use of absolute scores assigned by the judges. Okay. We used this paired comparison method at Blueprint, and it worked out well for us. We're thinking of using some variant of this model of judging starting from Hack MIT 2015. I'd love to see this method being used at more competitions because it's likely to lead to higher quality results. Okay, so for this method to be really easy for anyone to use, there needs to be an easy way of collecting paired comparison data and running the optimization algorithm. When I have some time, I'm thinking of working on a web app to make this whole process really easy so that anyone will be able to use this judging method without having to think about the math or write a single line of code. Okay, let me actually just go here and let's go through the paper as well, because I think the paper will explain things in a bit more detail. In a way that might be more approachable, or maybe not. Who knows? That's the way academic papers are. So we have crowd pairwise.pdf. Let me just hop over here, and I'm just going to do Zernal pp. What was it called? Downloads. I think it was called crowd pairwise.pdf. Perfect. Okay, let's make it so everyone can read it, and we're just going to knock it out. That should be fine. I think that's about as big as I can make it. Something like that. Yeah. In fact, let me have the margins. I like the margins. Okay, that's about as big as I can make it. Okay, so I gotta be honest. I was a bit scared here when I saw this guy. Now here's the thing. I have someone that I know whose name is Chi Chen, and I thought it was that person. But then I realized it's Carnegie Mellon, so there's no way it's Chi Chen. Also, Chi Chen is like into weird quantum stuff. So it'd be super weird if it was Chi Chen. And I was like, what is going on here? How is Chi Chen a part of this paper? But it must be another guy whose also name is Chi Chen. Totally fine. I just thought it was the same person, and I was a bit scared. Okay, let me change this just to be magenta, because I feel like using magenta. And let's just read through it and see what we can do. Again, it's kind of, we're just figuring out what the best thing to do here is. I think we have the basis of a good Elo ranking system already, going, so it's just a matter of figuring out whether there's a better system that we could use. And I guess while we're at it, let me go ahead and take a look at the interface that we have here. So Gavel is here. Sorry, and let me do where is the UI for this? Chen is a common name. Yeah, I think Chi is also a common name. So let's see. Here's a download. I think I was just here, so... Okay. The UI isn't great. I mean, if it has a UI, it's better than none, which is what we have right now. Okay, so this might take some... This might take some finagling. There's a lot of forks for it, and the asterisk one is the better UI I've seen. Okay, so you say we take a look at the forks. Here. Nope. There. And you said the asterisk. Oh, I see. Oh, no, I don't see. Wait, how do I know which one's the asterisk one? 1 second. There's a lot of forks for it, but the asterisk one. Okay, thanks. Let's go here, paste that there, and see what we got. Oh, did you send me this to me and I just completely missed it? Okay, here's the documentation. Okay, let's just see what we got here, and I'll kind of mess around with it a bit. Okay, let me move this over here for a second. 1 second, I need to move the mic. Okay, sorry if there was a bit of noise. Okay. Using Gavel at your event is cool and all, but there are some prerequisites to it. You need to access the submission system your event is using, and the emails of the Expo judges at your event. Alongside that, perhaps most importantly, you need to place to deploy Gavel. You may use the one-click deployment strategies available below. The only one-click deployment strategy is Heroku for now, but more solutions will be added later as they're figured out. Let me just click the deploy button, see what happens. You'll need a Heroku account, right? I mean, I'm pretty sure I can deploy this to the 3blue1brown site. Configuration, administration. Okay, let's get started with Gavel. Gavel is a full stack application built using Flask. It doesn't require a large amount of resources to run in a normal judging session. Something low resources such as Heroku free here should suffice. The first step to using Gavel is deployment. The next page is here. I'll guide you through that process. Currently, we've created guides on how to deploy on Gavel. Okay. So deployment on Heroku is fairly easy. I really am looking for some sort of... Let's just take a look at all of this. So, okay, edit this page. That does not bode well. Okay. Okay. What do we have here? Configuration variables. These config variables are used to define the behavior of Gavel. There are descriptions tagged to these fields that provide some context. Okay. This doesn't have UI mocks in it. Just deployment details. Okay, that's fair. But I'm also just trying to like wrap my head around it, in a sense. So like basically the question is, if we give this. I guess my question is the following. If we have it so, each individual entrant is also a judge, is there a way to make it so the entrants don't have to judge themselves, right? Like, is there a way to make it so they don't see themselves in the judging process, And that's, I guess, what I'm trying to figure out. Let's go back here. No, here. And let me just go back there. Back again. Okay. Users of asterisks fork of Gavel. I see. Right. We are asterisk. I gotcha. I understand now. Gavel documentation? This is the same one we were just at. Yeah, I think we were here before. Yeah, we were definitely here before. Okay. Let me... I wonder what people would rate themselves. Right, I don't... Maybe it's not so big of a deal, I just feel like... Clearly, if you're going to rate yourself, you're going to put yourself on top if you want to win the competition, right? That's just what's going to happen. Also, Nick, I didn't realize you were part of this. There you are right there. Yeah, right. That is unethical, which is why, I feel like... Oh, not anymore. Oh, I see. Okay. I just made some changes as I used it. Okay. So let's... I'm gonna talk to Grant about this type of stuff tomorrow morning, my time, and maybe at that point we talk about Gavel as well. I still don't fully understand what's happening, if that makes sense. In case anyone wants to try experimenting with real-world data for personal use, here's anonymized data for the rookie division consisting of 235 comparisons for 37 teams, and here are our results. Okay. Results here. Okay. Yeah. Okay, so maybe this is what I do. Maybe it's a good idea to read through the documentation, try to figure out how it works and stuff like that. Yeah, let me talk to Grant about it and see what he has to say. Because he's the one that's kind of pulling the strings. I just have to figure out how to get it done. But this is a good resource. I think this might be exactly what we need. It saves us some development time, although the development actually won't be too difficult here. Yeah, okay. So what does the interface look like? Administration here. They use the same Gavel algorithm, just different UIs, but not sure if it will work great for y'all yet. Yeah, so, right, I think that we could... Maybe I just have to set it up. So deployment on Heroku is fairly easy. All you have to do is click the button below and go through the configuration steps as outlined. Let's just do it, okay? Let's see what happens. So I'm gonna go ahead and do. I have to do all this though. Okay. Well, I should be anonymous right now. So give me a second. I'll just fill this stuff out. Where are we? I guess. That'll do. Role is I guess other. Sure, that's fine. Primary development language. I use another language. That's fine. Okay. I'm not a robot. Oh no. I have to find a bridge. And I suck at this so much. Is that a bridge or is that a... Let's just go verify. Create free account. Okay. I got an email. Yeah, I might be a robot, right? 1 second. I have to do this on my side computer. And... Oh, no. Oh, I have to set a password as well. Of course I have to set a password. Okay, give me a second, guys. I'm sorry. Okay. What is this? Okay. Cool. Set password. Don't save. Click here to proceed. Okay, in principle, this should be fine. All right, let's see what happens. I'm gonna go back over here, and then I'll share my screen again. Deploy. Okay, log in. Okay, 1 second. And yeah, we'll just do that later. Okay, looks like it's starting up. Accept. Okay, let's just see what happens. So it says you'll initially land on a page that looks like this. I don't see that at all. I guess create new app. Okay, app name. We're just gonna call it okay. Someone judging. Click the deploy button again. Okay. Okay, good. Okay, app name, again, we're going to call it someone judge. That's not how you spell judging. There we go. Okay. Add to pipeline. Admin password. Oh, no. This is not something I can just show on stream, is it? Okay. Disable email. I guess everything else is fine except for the... Yeah, I guess everything else is fine. Let's see what we have here. After you set the name of the application, scroll down to config vars and refer to the configuration page for more guidance on the configuration. Is that it? Do I just deploy? Okay. I guess I just have to change the password, which is here. So let me change that really quick. Again, just making sure that you guys can't see my screen. And we're just going to call it, maybe, okay, one second. I have to think of a good password here. Oh, thanks for that. Okay, let me take a look at that as well. Oh, I have... Okay, never mind. I have the configuration here. Okay, it looks like there's actually a bit more configuration involved. Okay. Yeah, so this is getting to the point... I need to take a quick break. So I think what I might do... I might call it here, and then I might just see what we can do. So I'm going to go ahead and end stream for now. I will be back... I'll be back tomorrow. Again, I'm going to try for the 9 to noon time, Japanese Standard Time, but we'll see. But this is a good place, I think, to end for now. I'll be back tomorrow, and yeah, thank you guys so much for coming in. Have a wonderful day, night, afternoon, morning, evening, whatever time it happens to be your time. And yeah, I hope to see you guys around tomorrow. Thanks again, Nick, for literally all the help today. You did so much, like, help, or so much work today, like, in terms of, you know, helping with the GitHub CI and, you know, now showing us the judging system and all that kind of stuff. It's just a lot of, thank you so much for all that. I really do appreciate it. And thanks everyone else for chatting. Again, I really do appreciate it. That's all for now. So I guess I'll see you next time. Bye guys. Thanks again.